Good morning, everyone. Very excited to have our 2025 annual meeting with all of you today. I'm going to start off by announcing that it is Association Executive Week this week. So, uh, lots of appreciation from us to you, Walt. Thank you. And so, Jay, are we sharing slides this morning?
Yeah, let's see if we've got that all turned on. Everyone, let me know if you can see. We've got the title plate here for Steven. It should be displaying.
Great. Um,
Yep.
Fantastic. So I want to start off by just doing a recap of where we have been the last few years. It's been really fun in the 2020s. In 2020, starting off with, we had the pandemic, of course, working from home. Anyone remember the PEDS? But it's also the year that we started doing a clear cooperation in compliance with NAR policies. And finally, that year, we also had one of our own members, Vince Malta, installed as the NAR president. So that was very exciting. In 2021, the big thing, of course, was the super regional MLS data sharing. That just made all of our lives, I would say, a lot easier. It was also the year where we started the RISE initiative coming out of the DEI committee, as it was called then. And that was the year also where Prop 19 was passed to try to facilitate more transactions in California. Now, 2022 was probably the least eventful year on this list. That was the year that we completed our last strategic plan. And so that gave us the guidelines for the next 3 years, including in 2023. Unfortunately, not in our plan was our MLS, Rapatoni MLS outage due to the cyber attack, the ransomware. But it was also the year where we launched two apps that are quite popular for those of us that do leasing. Rent Spree was when we were able to start using it. And then for the rest of us that do a lot of sales, I believe a lot of you are on Zenlist, where it is an inside MLS app where our clients can see coming soon listings. So moving on to 2024, unfortunately, also not on our strategic plan was the NAR settlements. And so thank you all for being patient and working with us to ensure that our profession remains very active and that we're providing great service to our clients. We were in that year also able to start the Sidekick AI app that many of you are using. And the big one that year was, of course, Prop 33, that we were able to defeat the repeal of rent control prohibition on single-family homes and condos in California. So moving on to this year, we're October 1st today. So this is what happened before October 1st was the buyer broker representation agreement that is mandated by the state of California. And I think that really helped us become even more professional in our interaction with our clients. This was also a really big year for technology. We launched Tether, which helps improve safety for our members. We also updated the MLS, so we had the MLS 11 dashboard. Thank you again for the adjusting to that change. We do think that it is much more user-friendly, although we did take a little while to get used to for most of us. We also launched Solid Earth Passkey, which I personally find a lot more useful or user-friendly. So those are the things that we have accomplished in the last 5 years. Congratulations. So what are we working on now? Let me talk about a few of our committees and what they've been up to. But first, recognizing that Government Affairs, the MLS, and the Forms Committee always have been some of the busiest, and they continue to produce great products for all of us as members. So I'm going to talk about the few other ones and where they are. So starting with diversity, equity, inclusion, and then this year we added accessibility to the DEIA committee. This this committee, some of the things they did this year were art installation for Black History Month, and that spurred a lot of discussion regarding the history of our industry. And they did a ton of community outreach to different neighborhoods and trying to talk about home ownership, for example. And of course, we had our big Pride Month celebration in our office, strategically located near City Hall. We also had our third annual DEI symposium, and this was a collaboration between multiple associations in the Bay Area. And this year we talked about using trusts as a way of retaining Black home ownership um, and home ownership of all different populations. And we also continue to make DEI a inclusion a key part of our work, and we had made a newspaper announcement regarding that topic. RISE is another program that we continue to support. This year we had 6 members in our cohort, and we fundraised $2,000 to support their startup real estate journey. The program paired mentorship between some of our more seasoned agents and created networking opportunities for these newer agents in our industry. So the application will be open for the 4th annual RISE program next year. So please look for that, and we hope that some of you will be able to apply. Next up is the Global Business Council. 2025 was a big year for the GBC. We earned a gold in NAR's Global Achievement Award, and we continue to serve as the ambassador chapter for China. And our GBC was a lead organizer of the Know Your Neighbor cultural competency events, and we partnered up with affiliate associations such as ARIA, CREA, NORA, and others. GBC really are continuing to develop our relationship with China. And so please look for the global summit that will be coming up. Some of the other events that they held were Realtors Without Borders, the Green Home Tour, and on November 6th, again, will be the GBC Summits. One of the exciting news is GBC will be incorporating the Sustainability Task Force that was set up this year to look at opportunities to incorporate green building, energy efficiency into our work to help us as realtors provide more value to our members, to our consumers, although to each other as well. So we will be having green certification training on October 29th and 30th. With that, it is actually being subsidized so that it is free. And with that, you'll gain a lot of new knowledge that you can use when presenting homes and preparing listings. YPN, so our Young Professionals Network, is also very active this year, from monthly happy hours and to outings like Battle of the Bay, baseball game, community service with the Welcome Home Project, which I'll talk about in a second, and as well as a historic tour San Francisco Civic Center. This fall and winter, we will be having our nautical networking, the sailing trip, a TED Talk, business planning, and tax preparation workshops towards the end of the year. So please look for these networking opportunities and meet some new members. So I'll just briefly touch on that Work on Home project. This is the 10th year, and Mary will be talking about it in a second, so I'll give that information, dissemination to her. Next, I want to talk about election results. So I want to congratulate our newest board members for 2026. Two of them are returning, are Joel Luke Beckman and Neil Corkery, but we have a new member, Kimberly Wong. And we also had elections for our officers recently. Want to congratulate our incoming president, Luis Moran, who will be speaking in a second. Scott will continue as our treasurer. And finally, Amy Kong has been elected our president-elect. Scott will be talking about our financials, but I do want to mention one thing, which is that, under the leadership of Walt Bukowski, our CEO, our reserve numbers are at the highest they've ever been. So we're very happy to be good stewards of our association's resources. Jay, I'm going to the next slide on what's next. So we're very sad to announce that Walt will be retiring towards the end of this year, and we will be having a retirement party for that. So stay tuned. We're currently in a CEO search process, and we hope to announce some good news in the coming months. We also this year started doing the strategic plan. We do that every 3 years. And that strategic plan will be completed with the new CEO on board. So stay tuned. And thank you for all the members that have so far contributed their thoughts to the strategic plan. HUD and Jay Pepper Martins will be talking about the launch of the Race app. So I will leave that to them to give details. And behind the scenes, they've also been inputting a lot of systems to increase the cybersecurity of our MLS and other tech to make sure that the outage that happened will be less likely to happen again. I've already talked about sustainability task force. Just want to then mention that we are very careful with our budgets. We continue to monitor our membership levels, and we are instituting under Walt's leadership, making sure that our expenditures are efficient, that we continue to monitor our agreements with our vendors, to ensure that we are good stewards of yours and the association's resources. And finally, I want to mention that we are, of course, aware that there are a lot of big changes happening in our industry, including consolidation. While we don't, as an association, get involved in the business between our members, we do monitor what is happening with the business practices of our members to try to continue to add more value to our members so that we can facilitate your work as realtors. And I want to, before I end, personally invite you to our Member Fest. Sadly, it was supposed to be today, but it's raining. And so we did move it to October 22nd. And I hope that you will continue to be able to join us. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Jay.
Thanks very much, Stephen, for those remarks. And we're going to hand it off now to Scott Okamoto. Scott's going to give us an update to let us know how we're doing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Okamoto, your SFAR treasurer, and this is your treasury report for 2025. Realtor dues for 2025 were budgeted very conservatively last year. Accordingly, membership dues income year to date is just over $1 million at $1,007,872, which is $52,000 over budget. MLS user income trended down at the beginning of the year, but is up now with year to date at $2.2 million, which is just about $5,000 over budget. Key and royalty income is down due primarily to being $20,000 under budget in IDX income and $15,000 under in licensing forms. The installation in January came in $35,000 under budget in income, but $51,000 under budget in expenses for a better than budgeted bottom line impact. Events and education expenses overall, though, are about $30,000 over budget. Direct MLS cost is up by $68,000. This is due to a couple of months where we were transitioning between providers and we were still paying for both. Personnel expenses are down $42,000 year to date, but consulting is up $200,000 due to legal fees and some other activities. Bottom line for August is positive, $26,000, but negative year to date, $278,000. While membership is down compared to years past, the trend is more positive than at the beginning of the year due to membership income trending up, as well as the loss taken on the installation at the beginning of the year. Unrealized gains are up $379,000 over the last 12 months. This helped our reserves get to 8.2 months of reserves, which equals our highest level ever. In short, while our income is down compared to our budget, we have stronger reserves than we have ever had, and our income is trending positive since the beginning of the year. The association, I'm happy to say, is therefore in a very healthy position financially. And with that, let me turn it over to your Government Affairs Director, Mary Jung.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry, it's blocking.
There you go. Great. My name is Mary Jung, and actually, our new Government Affairs Director is Jay Chen. And what I am is I am your semi-retired Government Relations and Community Affairs person. My focus in my retirement is continuing to build community for the realtors in San Francisco and to oversee the SFAR Foundation and Welcome Home Project. Realtors have been busy all year participating in community events, starting in January at the inauguration of our new mayor, Daniel Lurie. We have continued being active with our affiliates, such as the Chinese Real Estate Association and the National Hispanic Organization of Real Estate Associates, which most recently held their national conference in San Francisco. The primary work of the San Francisco Association of Realtors Foundation is the Welcome Home Project. We started this project in 2015 when family homelessness was rampant, and our mayor, Ed Lee, at the time had decided that it was his goal to eliminate homelessness in families. And our board of directors decided to help. As realtors, we understand better than anyone the importance of a roof over our heads. Not being social workers, we decided to help families get back on track doing what we know best. So what we do is we work with the city's homeless services organizations and housing placement agencies. Once a family has stabilized and are ready to be housed successfully, we help them with their most basic starter kits. These families have very little after having been homeless for a while, and it's a great comfort for them to be able to participate in a program and get simple things such as a new pillow, a blanket to sleep on. We think of our welcome home packages sort of like dormitory packages, where you're sending your kid off to college, and you give them, their linens, their bath towels, a couple of plates, some forks, right? A coffee maker. We're basically doing the same thing. There's a lot of dignity to our service, and this really helps them remain on the right track. Did you know that since our program began, we have helped over 16,000 homeless individuals? Close to 1/3 of them are children who are homeless through no fault of their own. Every time I get photos from our clients and I see a photo of a child hugging his blanket like it is the best gift in the world, it just sends shivers because I know that in my situation, my child had a lot of opportunities. And while he liked the new blanket, he liked his new tennis shoes and he liked his PlayStation more. And so when we think about that, we just think about the very basics and how we can help bring people a sense of belonging and community. I call these families the invisible homeless. They are not the people we see on the streets in tents. They are in family shelters, they're in RVs, they're couch surfing. And they all have one thing in common. They need stability and housing. They are homeless, most of them because of unfortunate circumstances. A family member's house has taken a turn for the worse. the main salary provider in the family lost their job. And as a result, they've lost their homes. Maybe they can't pay the rent and they eventually become homeless. This year, we are on track to serve about 2,000 homeless people. The funding for this comes from our fundraising. Our event for 2025 is at Topgolf in Burlingame on October 16th. Our staff has planned a really, really fun event that afternoon. I hope that you'll be able to join us for this event to help us continue our work. And if you can't join us, we will also take donations. So thank you for your generosity. This program would not exist without you.
Great. Jay, back to you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Jay Cheng's on deck now, and he's going to dig into a few things for us. Why don't you take it away, Jay?
Thank you so much, Jay. My name is Jay Cheng. I am your Government Affairs Director for the San Francisco Association of Realtors. My job is to do politics so you can do your business. Our goal is to create a great legislative and political environment for you to buy and sell homes. First, I want to say I'm honored to be your new Government Affairs Director. Many of you will remember that we threw a great retirement party for Mary Jung at the end of last year. The question I get after that retirement party is yes, but Mary is still here. As you may suspect, there's no such thing as true retirement for Mary Jung. And I'm honored and so happy that she's staying with us. And I can't say enough about how all the work that we are able to do in government affairs and community affairs is only possible because of Mary and the work that she continues to do with us. So thank you, Mary, for sticking around. It was still a great party. I'm happy that we held it, and we're going to hold it again. It's been a great year for us in San Francisco. Next slide, please. It's been a great year for us in San Francisco. I hope that everyone really feels that this city is turning around. The statistics show that it is turning around. For the first time in over 20 years, crime is at a historic low. For the first time in 5 years, tent encampments are at a historic low. We've shown that San Francisco is open for business. Businesses are coming back to San Francisco. Conventions are coming back to San Francisco. We can really feel the activity return to the city. And this is all because we have a centrist majority in City Hall. Last year, you all helped us elect a centrist majority to the Board of Supervisors. In fact, unseating for the first time Dean Preston, a Democratic Socialist on the Board of Supervisors, an incumbent, someone who had been a real enemy to us and our clients. It is great to have sensible, common sense, reliable people in City Hall, and you can see the difference. Of course, we have now a hardworking and centrist mayor who's made fantastic improvements to SFPD and to our governance. And we're so thrilled to have a competent and focused district attorney in Brooke Jenkins, someone who is going out prosecuting with both compassion and conviction. I think through all of that, we can see the results both in the market, but also on the streets, and we're thrilled about that. That's come not just in the macro environment, but also legislation for us as realtors and for our clients. For the first time, we took a historic step towards legalizing ADUs as condos. And so Supervisor Joel Engardio helped us push forward that legislation, moving ADUs towards condo conversion for the first time. And so both in the macro and the micro environment, we can see that this year has really moved the association forward. I want to take a look at the next year. If you go to the next slide. As many of you know, we just had an election 2 weeks ago, about a month ago, in District 4, the Sunset District. Supervisor Joel Engardio was recalled by his constituents over the issue of closing the Great Highway. That means that Mayor Daniel Lurie has an opportunity to appoint a replacement to Supervisor Joel Engardio to the Board of Supervisors. He can make that appointment no earlier than October 10th. There is no deadline on that appointment, so he can wait as long as he needs to make the right appointment. We're confident that Daniel Lurie will make a strong and centrist appointment that will be an ally to the association. That appointment will be up for election in June 2026, and so it will be up for election in the June primary. We expect this to be a very, very tough race. It's going to be a hotly contested race, and so a lot of time and energy for the association will be focused on that seat. Joel Engardio, I think many members can feel a lot of different ways around Supervisor Joel Engardio, and I think that decision to close the Great Highway was controversial. However, it is true and factual that Supervisor Joel Engardio had always been a strong ally on our issues, realtor issues, real estate issues. And so we hope that this next appointment will similarly be an ally. We believe it will, but we will have to defend that seat come June 2026. In District 10, the Bayview Hunters Point District, and in District 8, Castro and Noe Valley, there are 2 other open seats. Supervisor Shaman Walton is terming out, and Supervisor Raphael Mandelman is terming out. The combination of these 3 seats in the Bayview Hunters Point, the Sunset, and Castro Noe Valley will determine the balance of the Board of Supervisors next year. It will continue the momentum that we've seen over the last 9 months, or if we lose these seats, whether some of that momentum will be reversed. A top priority for us going into next year is making sure that we can sustain the momentum that we've already achieved in the city and continue this turnaround, and those races are where it's going to happen. Before I give it back to Jay Pepper Martin, one last note on issues coming up to us next year. As you know, San Francisco faces a historic budget deficit. It faced a historic budget deficit this year of $800 million. We expect that deficit to become worse next year. As such, we expect that SFMTA will be putting a parcel tax on the ballot for the November ballot, a parcel tax that would go to fund Muni. Of course, parcel taxes directly impact real estate, so we're keeping a close eye on this, and we're going to keep you all educated as this moves forward. I want to finally say that all the work that has happened in the last 9 months, all the turnaround that has happened in the last 5 years in San Francisco since the pandemic has been because of you all. Our membership has been fantastic. I think many in the city recognize that this association has led recovery efforts, whether it's on the ballot, whether it's in the community, whether it's on the street. It's taken an enormous amount of work and an enormous amount of sacrifice. And so I want to thank our leadership at SFAR. I want to thank Walt Bukowski for all the work that he's done to help the city move forward. I want to thank you all for all the work that you all have done to help move the city forward and our neighborhoods forward. So thank you. And with that, let me turn it back to Jay Pepper Martins.
Thanks very much, Jay Cheng, and congratulations on your new role as our Government Affairs Director at SFAR. That's fantastic. I'm going to turn it over now to our President-elect.
Thank you, Jay. Hello, everyone. My name is Luis Moran. I am your incoming president for 2026. I had the difficult task of trying to fit into the shoes that were worn by Damon, Vanessa, and Stephen before me, but I will do my very best. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet me, and I look forward to meeting you soon, a brief little tidbit about who I am. I was born and raised here in San Francisco. Went to school at St. Ignatius. I stayed local and went to undergrad and law school at UC Berkeley. I have served on the SFAR and CAR boards for the past several years. I currently am president of the National Hispanic Organization of Real Estate Associates. And right before that, I was president of the Rotary Foundation here in San Francisco. So I have some experience. I've also been a broker associate with Coldwell Banker for about 15 years. So I'm very in tune with what's going on in the city. I'm in tune with what's going on in the real estate industry. I'm always willing and able and look forward to learning and representing you as the members who I serve. So if we can go to the first slide, Jay. I don't have an agenda per se, and I've discovered that in leadership, agendas tend to go to the wayside rather quickly. As Stephen identified the past 5 years, there's been one issue and after another that was unexpected and that we had to sort of veer around. So I am sure that I will have issues coming up as well, but I will rely on the leadership team with me, the staff, and you as members to make sure that we face whatever obstacle we may face and get over it and come out stronger than we actually were in the beginning. And I don't have, as I mentioned, I don't have an agenda per se, but I do have goals. And it's always good to have goals. I have 3 in general that I just want to touch on. My first goal is to increase membership engagement. You know, we hear this all the time, but we're realtors, very busy. I understand that. We don't read emails, texts. We only try to use in emergencies. So I'm really going to rely on you as our members to tell those of you who had volunteered previously to let people know about your experience of volunteering and serving with SFAR. For those of you who have not served or volunteered, I would strongly recommend you to reach out to myself, to anybody on the board, anybody on committees, ask us about it. Better yet, join, participate. I do have a couple of plans which I think will help with this. Starting towards the end of this month, I plan to visit as many offices through the end of the month in November as possible, because I think it's extremely important that I hear from you as our members to see what it is that you want from SFAR. As mentioned, all of us are active realtors. We have a general sense, but I will never take the liberty of assuming that I know what it is you are looking forward to or need. The other thing I would like to do is continue empowering our amazing members through education. One thing that I really, really take pride in as I meet with other execs from other associations, or even meet other realtors from San Mateo County or other surrounding counties, the one description, definition, the one way that agents in San Francisco are often described is as professional, right? And I really want to build on that and continue to be known as a professional organization. I've had the great privilege of working with many of you, and we are a professional organization. We do carry ourselves in a professional manner and deal with each other accordingly. I want to make sure that we continue that, and we will do that through education, through events, through listening. You know, a lot of times our professionalism may be a tad bit off because we find issues and we seem to have no response to those issues. So please, if that is the case, something's holding you back from doing the best you can in your business, reach out to me, reach out to SFAR. We will do what we can to help alleviate those issues, if there are any that you're facing, and overall just help educate and improve your skills so that you can do the best job possible for your clients and working with your fellow colleagues. And finally, the goal that I'm really excited about is I want to continue building the strong pipeline of future SFAR leaders. As many of you may know, I joined a committee 4 or 5 years ago without the intentions of actually becoming a board member or a president or so forth. But as I got more involved through the committee work, I realized that there were opportunities that maybe I was well suited for and that I actually enjoyed. And I think it's really important for us to continue to make that opportunity available to everyone. Leaders, I truly believe, lead through action. A lot of times we sign up for things, we would like the title of a leader, but we all discover who leads through action and who leads because attempts to lead because of a title. I don't want titles to interfere. I want you to come in, participate, just be a member. And we will notice, believe me, people around you will notice when you are getting things done, when you bring a positive attitude. And next thing you know, you might get a little tap on the shoulder from one of us and say, have you considered possibly running for the board? Or do you have aspirations for another office where your talents and abilities can be best used? So that is something I will work on, making sure that everybody has an opportunity. If there's an interest, I will make sure that you have an opportunity to get involved and participate. Much more to come in the following year. I look forward to meeting you at the office visits. Please reach out to me with any ideas, concerns, suggestions. I will try to implement as much as I can, but I definitely do want to hear from you and see how we can continue growing as an organization. So with that, I'll send it back to Jay. Thank you all. See you all soon.
Thanks, Luis. So the next up is actually HUD and I. So what I will do here is I'll get us set up to talk about a few things that are going on the MLS side. As you guys know, HUD is your Chief Information Officer, and I am currently your Chief Technology Officer for the association. So HUD and I are going to do a little bit of a 1-2 show here. I'm going to start off with talking about some products, and then we're going to jump in and give you some really incredible stats for how things have gone this year. And we'll talk quite a bit about the future as we move into it here. So just taking a look at the new dashboard launch this year, it's up on its feet. And I just want to highlight again, you got your 3 core areas, or your 3 chief areas of the dashboard, your core essentials that you need to get things done. You've got a ton of apps, and this portfolio is growing. We try really hard to get to know who these vendors are and make sure that we're delivering great products. We've accelerated our additions to the product portfolio because we have a new technology that lets us add and modify things really easily. Key part of this new partnership with Solid Earth on this new dashboard has been that ease of deploy and ease of application integration. And of course, we've got a number of different forms applications so that you can make choices. We always want to make sure you have the core tools and can also choose what additional tools you want. So for search, you've got your core MLS application. Of course, you have Zenlist, RPR. You can do now conversational search using Sidekick and other AI tools. You've got property search, many different ways to approach that. Realist is still the one that's embedded right inside the MLS application. But we've also got Real Reports, which is doing some really cool stuff now with artificial intelligence. Again, you can take the property data and just ask it questions and try to find out what all is in it. And we have other property data resources at your disposal. And of course, I mentioned forms. We are no longer one form platform. We are forms agnostic, where we can deliver our licensed forms content across many platforms so that you can use whichever ones you wish and try out new ones. We've got some really cool new things coming. You've heard us mention this word raise a few times. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And also happening this month, towards the end of this month, is we'll be doing a full integration with PropDisk, which is a new disclosures package, distribution tool, like Disclosures.io was. And so PropDisk is coming a little later this month. And what else we got here? So we've got some crazy metrics to share with people. Why don't you take it from here and tell people how we did?
Well, absolutely. I'm so excited to see all of these applications that we were made to make available for our members. As we go out on the road and as we get our inboxes fill with all kinds of different options, just know that you have the MLS and Tech Committee and Jay and myself to sort of be that filter so that, you know, you get the good stuff. And we're fortunate enough to be able to offer many of them at your member dues, but also creating great relationships with these companies where you get a special deal or a trial offer or whatnot. But going back to the stats. Oh, skipping.
Sorry.
It's okay. Back to the stats, please. Thank you. Thank you. So one of the things that Jay and I talk about a lot with the board of directors and with our various committees is you can't improve what you don't measure. So we've taken a lot of effort in the tenure that I've had here at the association, about 3.5 years now, where we measure how we're doing. And here's a couple great stats. These are year-to-date stats. Article views. We've had 12,245 views of our articles. This is our wiki. This is our knowledge base. This is where all of our articles go, whether it's something that's written by myself, by Jay, by RJ, by Mikey, or other members of the team, or other members of different departments. So this is our resource for those realtors that don't read. Apparently some of them do, because 12,000 of them did check them out over this last year. So that's fantastic to have that available. Looking at our help desk stats. Now, this is what is super important for us to take value of. And we want to measure how our departments are doing across all of the departments, not just for the MLS, but for accounting and for membership. So if you take a look at this, we've got a 95% satisfaction rate on our tickets of 18,000 resolved tickets just year to date. Now, of course, who fills out and not 18,000 people fill out a survey, but we have a good percentage of our agents that do our members that do fill out that survey, and we have a 95% satisfaction survey. A little anecdote is during the upgrade to the Solid Earth dashboard, which was a business flow change. No matter how fantastic it ends up being, it was a flow. Our satisfaction rate actually went up to 98%, even as our tickets and our call volume went up 3x. So all that to say is we have a fantastic team. We are small but mighty, and we're here to help. Also, taking a look at our phone calls just year to date, 11,245 phone calls, wow. Which means that we're answering the phone, we're picking up the phone, we're calling you back, we're taking voicemails. We stay on the phone an average of about 3 minutes, 31 seconds, getting you the information you need. So this is a combination of the type of outreach and the type of support that we are offering our members. We think it's working. We're happy about that. Let's move on to the next slide, please, Jay. One more key metric that I think is important. We send email is still a thing. Hey, we can't get away from it, right? we have this new application we've been using for a couple of years. It's kind of like Constant Contact, but it's directly connected to our membership platform. It's called Engage. This is just a snapshot of the last 3 months of the amount of emails that we've sent. Over 1 million emails, 1.1 emails sent, 1.1 million delivered, 666,000 open, 43K bounced, 43% bounced, but this happens. 61% open rate on our email, 94% delivery rate. So even though you see that 43K where the same things bounce, we still have a 94% delivery rate and a 4% bounce rate, which just means a bad email address. So now what I wanted to sort of, as we encapsulate all this, it's really looking at the fact that we have these metrics, we use these metrics so we can come back and say, what have we done right? What are other ways that we need to reach people? Video is a very popular medium, and we have our SFAR social channel. We're going to show you some stats right here on our YouTube channel, which is where we, next slide please, which is where we put all of our training videos, any of our seminars and whatnot. Just in the last, just in our last year, we've had 13,000 views annually year to date. Year to date, we have 13,000 views. And just in the last 28 days, I think that might have been the slide either before or after, we had 1,200 views in the last 28 days. So we all like that. We love that traffic. We're analyzing what type of videos are getting viewed more than others. One of the things that we've been working on is creating very short videos, 3-minute videos, 2-minute videos on what you need to know. A good example is the MLS 11 launch. We made sure we created about 9 different videos on exactly what you needed to know and what has changed, what has not changed. So today I'm all about stats. Oftentimes I talk about apps, but today it's all about stats, and I look forward to continuing to hit these benchmarks in the near term. Back to you, Jay.
Awesome. Thanks, HUD. Yeah, measuring our performance has been really key. HUD's been an absolutely invaluable resource for us to get that done and get that delivered. And now that we can measure things, we can make improvements. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend and a mentor, a person that I absolutely would not be here today without. I don't know what I'm going to do without him to some extent. And I must tell you that Walt has been one of the most phenomenal people in my life. He's made a difference to me. I've seen him make a difference in other people's lives and take care of his people and take care of all of us as members of the association. And I'll turn it over to you now, Sir Walt Bukowski.
Well, I guess I really don't need to say anything else after that. That was pretty good. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's my last annual business meeting I'll be hosting. I am, be transitioning to a new CEO next year. I hope to be able to help out and do whatever I can for them. I am pleased at where the association's been. When I got here, we had about 1.5 months operating capital in reserve. We now have 8 months, which is tremendous, which I've heard Scott and Stephen say. We have grown our membership services tremendously. I mean, just look at the one statistic, 13,000 views of our videos this year. That is a tremendous statistic, something this whole organization should be proud of. And between Mikey and RJ and everybody putting the videos together, they are tremendous. So it just shows everybody should be going in there and taking a look at them. We continue to be a leader in MLS services. Other associations in the country, other MLSs, look at us to see what we're implementing and what we're doing, because we're doing a lot of things first and best. Same with government relations. I think it's funny that what Mary do after her retirement party, she came to work. I'm not. I will be retiring, and be helping out wherever I possibly can. The wide variety of programs that the association continues to offer, and everything from the diversity, the Global Business Council, the YPN, standard forms. I don't know if you realize the amount of work that committee of all volunteer attorneys puts in to develop your standard forms and put them out there, and that HUD then went out, and now we market to some other places to have them online for you also. We continue to have a great diversity in our membership and in our leadership. I think it's great with Louis coming in and with Amy Kong following that, and our board is very diverse and all sizes of the companies. The advocacy continues to be tremendous. You're doing something right when a state senator calls you to home on Saturday to complain about something. That means you recognize, and they're not calling me, they're calling you. They're calling you, all the members of this organization, because they know the power that the realtors have. And that's why they give me a call. So we made many friends during the time here. We'll continue those friendships. Many great business associates also. I really thank you all for making my job as enjoyable and easy as it is. We have great leadership, something this group has been blessed with. Just tremendous leadership. The board of directors is always very accommodating and listens to the stuff that we bring up, no matter how harebrained it is sometimes. But you know, you take a look at the programs coming up, Raise and the new disclosures program, and all the things available in the MLS. You can go to the MLS in San Francisco and not have to sign up for any other programs or anything out there. We provide it, and what that allows, it allows the brokers to go ahead, spend money on enhancing their own reputation in business, and we continue to provide the services to make it go. So I've been proud to be here. Been a great 13 years. And I'm glad with the team that we have, and I look forward to working with the new CEO coming in and continuing the tremendous success for you. Thank you.
I don't know if everyone knows Walt, but you're an artist too. If you haven't had a chance to see some of Walt's posts on Facebook, the man can bring this wood is dead wood. He brings it back to life, and it gives you a very rich experience to be able to sort of feel these ancient trees. Well, it's beautiful to see the things that that you can build also with your hands, not only with your mind.
Yeah, one of the things that's funny also is I like my old cars, and I've been fortunate the last 3 or 4 parades in San Francisco to drive Brooke Jenkins in the parade. So we do get and it's nice to be able to mingle with everybody out there on that. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, sir. And with that, we've got a couple of notes here just for us to wrap up, and then I'll turn it back to our president if he has any words to close. We just want to remind everyone that the Raise launch is scheduled for October 20th. There's a code there. You can scan a QR code.
We're going to have breakfast, Jay, at the office. We really want you guys
Good.
to come. This is a event that we are very excited about. It is really meant, this application will empower you to show your clients what you do for them lately. It's going to be worth your time, and this application is on the association's dime. We're paying this for you because we believe in you. So please scan that QR code. We're going to have a national speaker that you'll be able to have breakfast with. This guy is on stage all across the country, Inman, CMLS, NAR, you name it. So come check it out. We're going to feed you some breakfast. If you can't make it, there's also going to be a Zoom event, but please do scan that QR code. This is going to be our launch party, the first of many throughout this next year as we continue to invest in your future.
What I love about this one, HUD, is that it's not just for listing agents. I think a lot of the time we'll deploy a technology that's really focused on just how the listing inventory works. This one's about you as members, and that's really key as a differentiating mechanism, I think.
Absolutely.
The next item that we've got, we want to remind you of, is Mary's mentioned the Driving Dignity Home fundraiser. So please do scan that one too. And we'd love to see you there at that one. That's on Thursday, October the 16th. And then lastly, as said before, the weather sort of forced us to make an adjustment here. MemberFest is going to be at the end of the month on the 22nd. And so we'd love it if you can make it out to that. Again, all these items are on our calendar, but this one's on the 22nd. Refer to the events calendar that's on the member website for more details. And I think that's all we've got for today.
Well, we're looking for, I'm monitoring to see if there are any questions, aside from a congratulations message to Walt, which we cannot say enough of. I don't see any other questions, but
There are none. There are none.
okay. Well, I hope it means that we're able to answer a lot of questions through our presentation, but we're always all ears. Obviously, we're going through a lot of changes nationally in our profession, and so we're in this together, and we will work together to make realtors even more important in our service to our clients, to the community. So thank you all for the great work that you do, and this will conclude our 2025 member annual meeting.
Thank you all.
Take care, all.